we were going to the edit, and we literally had, like, we were just like...
We were talking about giving up, basically, and this is pointless.
Yeah. It's probably not going to happen, that sort of thing. That's kind of it. And then somebody came up to us...
As we were talking about.
Yeah, it was just like, oh, Grinder, or Sniper, whatever. Yeah. They wanted, like, a picture, and we were just like...
Right. Yeah.
And then went into this
so
edit,
depressing.
and then beat the shit out of Ash.
And that's why I'm in a wheelchair.
From making those YouTube things, what did you have to? What were the big things that you had to change to come up with that pilot episode? And how did that affect how you sort of saw the characters or the sort of style of making these things?
Well, we had to look at beats. Beats was one of the big concerns at the time, because he sort of, we did an exercise where we just looked at the lines of both characters, and it could have been Beats or Grinder. So we kind of had to work on Beats and give him a different angle.
We did a thing where we had 3 words that applied to, or that summed up the characters. So we were sort of trying to separate out, like, the key character traits of Beats versus Grinder, and trying to make them completely different.
Because at first they pretty much all came up the same.
What did that? What were those? I mean, what did that become? What were the differences between those 2 characters?
Well, Beats became a lot softer because he was.
They both used to have like a power struggle, which we thought was funny
because we do that in real life.
Yeah, but I think it's better if Beats is a bit more submissive.
Yeah.
Which you love.
Which I love.
It just also, I think it helped to soften. It just helped to soften the show a little bit. You know, comedically, it kind of.
We had to soften Grinder up a little bit from the YouTube stuff, and it wasn't like we were sort of losing anything, because once we started learning the character more and showing his insecurities a little bit more, I think that helped, if anything. Makes, you know, sometimes, even though he's a complete piece of shit sometimes, but you can feel a little bit of empathy for him because he's just very insecure.
but you know, the hardest thing was about the pilot was that we hadn't really done a proper sort of story, really.
Yeah.
We'd done like little bits of story, like we'd made a sort of music video episode, but there wasn't really any like beginning, middle, end type thing. So when we did the pilot, we started having to try and figure out the tone of the story and how dramatic it would be, or how big it would be, or how sort of trying to balance the sort of realism with the drama, with the comedy, and that took ages.
And we'd never done A plot, B plot, C plot, and how to intertwine all the characters. We've never done any of that, so it's sort of learning the puzzle of writing as well.
So like looking at people's like journeys and like goals. What does each character want?
Yeah.
Like what's their goal? You know, the YouTube stuff was like a collection of funny shit that we just filmed, and we thought this would be good, this would be good. Almost like that's why you can make a little highlight reel of it, because it's not really following a narrative or journey.
Some of it was funny.
Yeah, like each character we have to like say like, what does Beats want? What does Grinder want? What does Mish want? So that
Did you use a lot of the YouTube stuff in the pilot?
Some stuff.
Some jokes. Yeah, some jokes.
Some of the the clip you saw there, with your buddy talking about the jiu-jitsu stuff, that was just recently used, wasn't it? We kind of kept on saving it.
We've always tried to get the wind barrier. We've always tried
every
to get the wind barrier, but we never
tried to get wind barrier in there.
Yeah, wind barrier. Yeah,
hasn't made it yet.
Hasn't made it in yet. Clearly a good thing.
Maybe will.
I think the hardest thing with pilots is that you've got to try and tell a story and introduce all the characters for the first time. And when it's the first thing they'd ever written, it took a long. How long did it take us? Like 8 months?
It took us about 8 months, but I also would say that pilot, although it was still hard to sell afterwards, I think for me and for John, that was the moment that they sort of went from boys to men, because we were not sure. At
the end of the road.
We all went to a Boys to Men concert.
And that was the moment. I think from my point of view, I was just simply wondering whether they had it in them to make the change from improvising funny stuff with their friends on a Sunday morning to the step up to because writing is boring, is long, and it is disciplined, and rewriting is painful, and talking about it now, there's nothing funny about sitting in a room trying to make something better. We try and have fun, but it's actually, as you'll know, Holly, it's slog. And they were sort of 5 boisterous, stoned mates, and we weren't sure, looking around the room, who within them was going to be the writer. And there's one thing I knew, nobody else could write it because it's so specific, so we couldn't call in other writers, which is what you would often do. So it either had to come from them or the show wouldn't get beyond a joke amongst mates on YouTube. And when we did the pilot, although it was a slow process, at the end of that, I did think they can write. So
that was 8 months of
8 months
learning.
to get to a 20-minute bit of script.
Well, yeah, but let me just say that it was about 8 minutes in the first place, the first time we saw the pilot.
Yeah.
And I went absolutely mental.
Tell them what you nearly did to me in an edit.
He says that I wanted to bring a baseball bat and beat him up, but
You were going to hit me, bro.
It was
Come on your own time.
It was supposed to be a half-hour pilot.
Yeah,
I think
and
in the end
like
it was 18.
we spoke about this the other day actually. You know, like when you put everything into something, and then once it's been sort of passed away, you think it's going to be sick now, and then like you look at it, you're like, it looked like a sort of 8-minute advert.
But
like,
also
loads
because we'd spent 8 months writing
Yeah,
the
yeah,
whole
yeah.
story, and then it came out the edit, and it was just none of the stories were there. It was just like a little taster tape.
Yeah, yeah,
It was
yeah.
like, what? And then
we really thought, yeah,
that fan that we bumped.
yeah.
So we were going to the edit, and we literally had we were just like,
We're talking about giving up basically,
it's
and this is
over,
pointless.
yeah.
Yeah,
It's probably not going to happen. That
Yeah.
thing. That's kind of it. And then somebody came up to us.
as we were talking about.
Yeah, it's just like, oh, Grinder or Sniper, whatever.
Yeah.
They wanted like a picture, and we were just like,
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
and then went into this
So
edit,
depressing.
and then beat the shit out of Ash.
And that's why I'm in a wheelchair.
Shall we see a clip of the pilot episode?
There's a lot of people try and mug you off, and it's better to think like that. It's better to always be aware, because otherwise you get caught slipping, like, and man don't get caught slipping out here in a manner, like, do you know what I mean?
If you're from the street, like, you can't be found caught, like, slipping and that, like, because...
That's it, ground zero.
Yeah, Delta.
Boys! What's going on, boys? How's it going? All sorted, yeah?
You can always rely on your body G, yeah? Always rely on your body G. I mean, think about it. How do you think I got here? I came here in '93 with nothing but £5 on my brother's passport, my passport. So, I just got to plug that in. Like that. Give that a go.
Yes, red light, we're on, we're rolling.
Nice. Smashed it, brother.
No problem.
I knew that was just a little glitch, like, we are back, do you know what I mean? Like,
They can't hold us down.
No one can hold us down. You know what I mean? Like,
Craft FM is back, baby!
is that...
Yeah, that's all in the mic's over there.
That's some good bits.
So apart from the 8 months of writing the script, that must have been quite a learning curve, having gone from making your own stuff, you know, literally all, like the 4 of you or 5 of you making your own stuff, to suddenly having a crew and a director and everything like that. Did it really change how you thought about your process with that kind of responsibility to everyone?
Yeah, I mean, seeing the pilot back, and, you know, whenever you see an episode, that's where it sort of teaches you about the writing process, what went wrong. So I guess that sort of helped. But yeah, the whole thing was completely different. Obviously.
The scale of it was so mad to us, because the other stuff we'd filmed, it was literally just us.
Yeah.
Like, there wasn't anybody even doing sound or anything, it was just us. So yeah, to go out and have to perform in front of like a whole crew of people with lights and everything just was a different vibe entirely. But I think because we had each other, it we sort of made it feel like, I don't know, we reassured each other that it was kind of our thing and we could take the piss out of everyone a little bit.
Because it was our thing in the first place. Obviously, we were a little bit, like, right at the beginning, I think you had to bear the brunt of it, because he came on the first day ever on the pilot.
That was the first series, yeah. But
then, like, after that,
it.
we just, like, terrorised everyone on set and just acted like it was our thing, telling them they're going to get fired.
It was quite awkward.
As a joke, obviously.
It was quite awkward for me, because the first, like, I asked my dad Like, has he, like, because obviously when you Chibody G, like, I thought it'd be funny for him to be in a porter cabin, because my dad actually has worked at a porter cabin before. So he had his mate who had this porter cabin, and we were basically filming, like, on one side of the porter cabin, but the staff was still there. So there were, like, loads of, like, real Chibody Gs just kind of looking at me, like, I remember that was really awkward. I was like there, like basically looking like this. You know, mate?
You had the same tash.
Yeah, the same tash as the guys just walking around me like, sorry, uncle. That was awkward for me. That was quite surreal. It was almost like a Twilight Zone, like a weird mirror image of myself. Yeah.